Whoosh, here we are. All right, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon if you're listening or watching in the States. So if you're watching on the replay or you're listening on the audio experience, good, whatever it is to you, morning, afternoon, evening, thank you so much for joining us. Loads of comments coming through on Periscope. Today I starred in a short as a guy called Jack, who lives in a box. Jack in a box. Is that Bobby? That's good, man. Let us know how you got on with that. Thank you so much. First of all, just for like all of the love for the first vlog that I put out, Watch Ross. I had some amazing comments through. Hello, Helen. How are we doing? If you've not watched it, because obviously I broadcast it live on a previous broadcast on Monday night, and it's been up on facebook.com/Watch Ross for a day, for like 24 hours. It's had about 1,500 views, which is cool. But thanks so much for all the comments. The people have been so supportive about it. Like I say, it's just an experiment. I have no idea where it's going to go. But I've already shot episode 2, and I'm in the middle of editing it. So Will's on here. He said he's editing a film at the moment whilst he's watching this. Well, after this, Will, Film and Will, that's why I called you Phil. I'm going to be editing episode 2 of Watch Ross. It is good, honestly. It is good. Other people should start doing weekly vlogs if you fancy it. It's really entertaining to actually do. And you don't. And the great thing is, you don't have to create anything. You just document what you're doing in your life. And people will be like, "Oh, well, what if I don't have an interesting life?" Your life's interesting, regardless of whether you think it is or not. It's interesting for us because it's not our life. So whether you work in a shop or a warehouse or whatever is your side hustle, to support your acting career, whatever it is you do, film little bits. Even if you just start using Instagram stories to just document 15-second sections of your day, I think it's pretty cool. But episode 2 of Watch Ross will be out on Monday, so make sure you've watched episode 1 before that so you can keep up with the story. You can go to facebook.com/Watch Ross, and it's also now on YouTube. I wasn't going to put it on YouTube as early as this, but I probably had a dozen comments from people or messages going, "Hey Ross, is this on YouTube?" Because I spend a load of time on YouTube and I like using the YouTube app. And I was like, well, you know what, I'm going to put it on YouTube for you then, if that's the case. So it is on YouTube. It's not been indexed by YouTube as of yet, though. So if you search for it, you won't find it for about another 12 hours or so. But I'm going to need your help because I'm going to need 100 subscribers to the new Watch Ross YouTube channel before I can actually do some stuff with that channel. YouTube limit the capabilities of the channel and what you can do with it, and the length of videos you can upload and all that kind of stuff until you have 100 subscribers. So when I get in fact, if you listen to this probably from tomorrow, or if you're watching this on the replay, if you just go to youtube.com and just search for #WatchRoss, you should be able to find the first episode there. It's up on Act on This's YouTube channel. It's not that I want you to subscribe to. I do want you to subscribe to that, but I've got a separate channel for Watch Ross that isn't showing on the YouTube search as of yet because it's not been indexed because I only made it today. So just check which channel it's on, and if it's on the Ross Grant channel, get subscribing. So tonight, guys, we are looking at the awesome book, brand new book, by this chap, Brendon Burchard. It's called High Performance Habits. It's the third book we've looked at Brendon's actually over the last couple of years. It's a brand new one. It only came out a couple of weeks ago. Annabelle on Facebook says she's got it already. So good on you, Annabelle. But it is a great book. And the great thing that I like about Brendon and what we're going to look at tonight is actionable stuff that you can actually do in your life. So it's not just a book on theory. It's a book about things you can do. And I promise you, the thing we're going to look at tonight is going to help you. I've never looked at this before in this way in my life. And it's going to help you before auditions, it's going to help you before interviews, it's going to help you before dates, it's going to help you before any stressful situation, or you know what, not even stressful, just any situation that you want to make better in your life, you want to enhance and feel better about yourself, feel more alive, feel happier, more fulfilled. What we're going to look at tonight is going to help you. Before we start, because this chapter is all about generating energy. Who here feels a bit kind of like bollocksed at the moment? To be honest, we're changing seasons. We're going from summer here in the UK into autumn, and that has affected a lot of people. I've noticed people in the gym this morning were talking about how much more sluggish they're feeling at the moment. Because I work out quite early, about 7 o'clock, and my mate John this morning was like, there's something just not quite right. He said, I'm looking at getting a holiday in November to go and get some sun. Because people are, people just feel. Are you feeling it? Let me know. Gary says he's in his pajamas now, and Sam has just joined. Sam, thanks for joining us. Not seen you on a broadcast for a while. Also, we have got John's back on Facebook. Cheers for joining us, John. So yeah, who's feeling like just tired and sluggish now the seasons are changing? Bobby says, me, definitely. I think I plateaued at the end of August. Or maybe, you know what, you've just been burning yourself out a little bit. Maybe you've been hustling hard. You know, there's the whole kind of like badge of honor that people wear when it's like, oh, I'm so busy. And we looked last week at actually, are you being productive though? Remember when we looked at the prolific quality output, you know, basically the thing that you need to look at in your life that's going to be the quality piece of output that you're putting out to get further in whatever it is you want to do. And a lot of people don't do the thing that they need to do, their prolific quality output. They actually just do a load of other tasks that don't get them anywhere. Maybe you've been doing that and you're like, you know what? I really want to be doing all this stuff in my life and my career and my relationships and my physicality and my health, but I'm spending a load of time doing shitty menial tasks that aren't getting me anywhere. And maybe you're feeling burnt out because of that. So tonight we're looking at generating more energy in our lives to do the things we want to do. Gary says, same here, my diet is terrible. Diet, you only feel as good. Sometimes, Gary, people don't know how good their bodies are designed to feel until they start fueling them with the right stuff. If you've been fueling your body with shit over summer, or maybe people have been going out and drinking a little bit too much over summer in the light nights and beer gardens or whatever, maybe time to cut back now and start getting into shape in preparation for Christmas when everybody does, you know, go a little bit off the rails. At least you can do a bit of damage limitation. Hey, is that Brady? Did I see there? I might have missed the username. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, it starts off high performance habit number 2 in this book. Like I say, last week we looked at productivity. Tonight we're looking at generating energy. And it starts off, it says, look, the world belongs to the energetic. And that's a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. And in this little chapter, we're going to be looking at releasing tension and setting intention tonight. Then the chapter goes on to bringing joy and optimizing health. We're not going to have time to read it all because these chapters are pretty long. But tonight we're going to be looking at releasing tension and setting intention. And I've never looked at this before. And I've done a shitload of high performance stuff. So I think this is going to be something new for us, which is good. Starts off with a quote by a guy called Arjun, who Brendon has been coaching. He says, look, if I keep up this pace, I'll eventually burn out or probably just die. Anyone feeling like that right now? Anyone feeling like they're just going to burn out or probably die? So someone just said intention. No, we're not putting ourselves in tension, as in our intent to do something. So we're getting rid of the tension, and we're giving ourselves intention to do stuff. To go, you know what? I've got some drive and some some motivation to do the things that I want to do because I don't feel like shit and I'm not all tense. So Fanny said, hell yeah. What was that to, Fanny? You're feeling that you're going to eventually burn out or just die? I think a lot of people get like that, you know, particularly when you're really striving for something and you've got a lot on your plate. So it starts off, it says, Arjun laughs and shifts uncomfortably in his chair. Then all this was for nothing, he says. He looks as though he's barely slept in months. Okay, his face sags, his eyes are red, the sparkle inside gone. He doesn't have the vibrant charge like he did on the cover of the business magazine last year. So this guy must have been successful. He's been on the front cover of a magazine. I feign a look of surprise, Brendon says. Die, huh? When do you think eventually might happen? Are we talking next week, this year, next year? I'm not sure, but don't tell anyone, says Arjun. It's brave of him to be telling me this. No one likes to admit they've been working themselves into the ground, especially here in Silicon Valley. It's a badge of honour to work non-stop. There are a lot of young, smart workaholics here on this peninsula, pumped up on excessive caffeine and become a billionaire in a few years dreams. 6 hours ago, a friend called and asked me if he could conference in Arjun to introduce us. We exchanged pleasantries and 2 hours later, Arjun's private jet arrived to pick me up. Now I'm sitting in a glass conference room in his office near San Francisco. It's 3 a.m. and we're the only ones in the building. Some achievers won't let their guard down until after midnight, Brendon says. So this guy's flown Brendon out to his office, and they're there at 3 a.m. in the morning because he's obviously not sleeping, and that's probably why he's burnt out and looks like shit. I'm not entirely sure why he's flown me here. On the phone, he just said it was urgent and he thought I could help. I'd wanted to meet him someday anyway, so I agreed. So what's up, I say? I'm guessing you didn't fly me here to play mum and tell you to get more sleep. He laughs and pulls back in his chair. No, that's not it. I know I need more rest. And yet you don't rest. I will, he said. I've heard this before. The someday I'll take better care of myself story. Who's ever said that before? You know, right now I just have to hustle, they all say, to build, to take over the world. Well, that's not true, Arjun, and that's okay. The truth is you won't flame out. You'll keep working hard at an insane pace, just as you've done for the past 15 years. Fanny says it's her all the time. You won't burn out. You'll just become utterly, tragically miserable. You'll wake up one day even richer and more accomplished than you are now, and life just won't feel the way you wanted it to. You won't burn out then either, but you'll make a bad and abrupt decision. You'll quit or you'll fail. You'll realise your mind and body didn't let you down. Your choices did. I'm guessing you already know that. Yeah, he replies, then rolls back his left shirt sleeve. He points to a needle mark. Don't freak out, it's not drugs. I'm doing the Myers cocktail thing. Bunch of B vitamins and stuff. It's probably not helping, you know. Who's seen that? Where they do this, like, you see, it's big in LA. You know, there's even like these little camper vans that go around in LA where they'll just come at your house and just whack you on an intravenous drip to get you over a hangover and shit like that. Which is mental, isn't it? It's like going, actually, don't just actually rejuvenate properly and rest. We'll just bang you full of this shit. So Brendon says, look, I don't show a reaction. I've seen them all by now, all the quick fixes and prescriptions and fads people use in a desperate grab to revitalise their lives. When people, and this is interesting, listen to this. When people want the edge, often the first place they look is outside themselves. So when people want the edge, often the first place they look is outside themselves. And surely one thing we all know by now, that is if you really want the edge and you really want to, have success that's got longevity, it all begins with you. And nothing external at all. It's all down to you. So what would help, Arjun, says Brendon. You're a smart guy. You probably already know the answers. So with respect, I don't want to waste your time. It's 3 a.m. Why am I here? I want to feel good again. I don't want the emotional roller coaster anymore. I don't want to be tired. There has to be a way to crush it and still be happy. People say it's possible, but it's been 40 years and I haven't figured it out yet. That's for sure. But I know you can help. And how do you know that, Brendon asks. Arjun rolls the sleeve upon his other arm. He holds up his wrist and shows me a leather bracelet engraved with one of my quotes. He jabs at it with his finger. I want this again, man. Where'd you get that, I asked. My wife. It's embarrassing, but I'll tell you. We're having issues. She went to your event. She's a different person now. She said she bought this for me because I needed it, because we needed it. Was she right? I asked. He sighs and joins me standing, looking out into his offices. I can't take everyone here higher when I feel so low. My energy's dipping, the team can sense it, I'm not happy and I don't want to feel this way anymore. The engraving on the leather bracelet reads, bring the joy. So basically Arjun's a bit of a mess, isn't he? He's worked himself to the bone, he's achieved a lot, but he feels like shit about it. And I think, you know what, a lot of people, when they're not happy with like what they've got in their life, they go through, acquire more, and they find out they're still not happy because they were never going to be happy because they were never happy with what they had initially. And we say that all the time, don't we? You know, if you can't be happy with what you got now, when you might not have a lot, you're never going to be happy when you've got a lot because you're going to get there and you're still going to, you know, if you're looking for those external things, you're still going to be fucked up inside. It all begins with you. Bet he's got millions though, says Gary. Bet he has, Gary. He flew Brendon in on a private jet, but this guy is still pissed off and miserable. He's just said his wife and him are having a really rough time. Money's just external. If you can be happy without it, then you can be happy with it. But if you can't be happy with what you have now, you ain't ever going to be happy with what you're going to get. So let's look at the energy basics, all right? Energy is internal delight, says William Blake. I don't know who William Blake was, but someone Google him and let us know by the end of this who William Blake was. It's a quote in the book, so he must be a decent guy. Okay, so he says, as you might expect, it takes a lot of energy to succeed over the long haul. Give me some hearts if you agree with that, or some comments on Facebook if you agree with that. It takes a lot of energy to win over the long haul. I can see the hearts coming through. High performers, okay, so those who are really performing at a high level, have the magical trifecta of capital E energy, he calls it. Capital E energy. Sam, I don't know if William Blake was a poet. Google him for me, let me know. But he basically says energy is external, eternal, not external. Energy is eternal delight. Did I say internal before? It's eternal. So yeah, high performers have the magical trifecta of capital E energy. So that's like not just regular energy, this is like fucking holistic energy that includes positive and enduring mental, physical, and emotional vibrancy. It's the key force that helps them perform better in many areas of their life. It's why high performers have so much more passion, so much more stamina, and motivation. If you can tap into capital E energy stored within, the world is yours. Anyone think they've ever felt capital E energy? Where they're like, man, I'm just like in flow, this shit's happening for me, everything just seems to be going right. You felt it? I've definitely felt it. I don't think I've got it all the time, but I've definitely felt that. Yes, says Fanny in capital letters. In capital Y-E-S, energy. So in our high performance research, this is quite interesting, right? We measure energy by asking people to rate themselves on a scale of 1 through 5 on statements such as these. Give me some 1 through 5s of how you would rate yourselves on each of these statements, guys. This is interesting, and I'll do the same, all right? Statement number 1, okay? So 1 is like, you don't agree at all, like strongly disagree. 5 is strongly agree, and then everything else is in between, all right? So 1 is not good, basically. 5 is like, you agree with this. This statement, I have the mental stamina to be present and focused throughout the day. On a 1 to 5, who feels that? I have a difficulty giving myself full marks out of anything because I just think there's no room for improvement. So I'm going to go for a 4 on that. I feel I do have mental stamina to be present and focused throughout the day. Dawn's going for a 3. Gary's going for a 3. This is good, though. This is good. This is like, 3 is like, what, like 60%. 3 from Corey as well. I have the mental stamina to be present and focused throughout the day. Getting 3s. 3s, looks like 3's a pop. 3's the magic number, isn't it? So that's good. So that's statement number 1, all right? Statement number 2. I'll just see if there's any other scores coming through before before I ask the next one. Sam's a 3 as well. And then, we got Pete on Facebook as well. Pete, great to see you here, man. Pete's going for a 4. John's going for a 3. Pete went 3, then 4. He's upped his stamina and his mental focus whilst we've been here. Excellent, man. So these are good scores, all right? I've got no 2s or 1s there. Excellent, right? Statement number 2. There's only 3 of each of these, okay? So, I have the physical energy I need to achieve my goals every day. I have the physical energy. Now, I'm going to be completely vulnerable here and, transparent. Occasionally, because I get up very early, when I come home and I've had a shower, I've had my breakfast, and I've done some work, I'll often, maybe this is an age thing, I'll often find myself about 2 o'clock going, I'm going to go and have like a 40-minute power nap. I think naps in the afternoon, I love them. I'll do that sometimes. Sometimes I don't get the chance because I'm not home. But if I'm home, I might do a little thing where I'm going to go and work from bed for 40 minutes and just lie. Even if I don't fall asleep, I just lie on the bed and I'll do some social media on my phone and stuff like that. Gary's saying yes. I think that's a man thing, says Fanny. All men I know do that. Maybe it is. But so yeah, give me a score out of 5 for that. Okay, I have the physical energy I need to achieve my goals every day. I love naps. Sunday's nap day, says Sam, and Gary loves power naps as well. So John's going for a 4. That's great, man. Gary's going for a 2. So we know we can work on that, Gary. That's where we need to work with you. I think I'd give myself a 3 on this, so I know I need to work on this as well. I would never have a nap, says Vanny. Yeah, I love it. It doesn't necessarily mean I actually sleep, but I love just lying horizontal for a bit. If I can. I don't get to do it every day because a lot of time I'm out. Peter's going for a 3. So yeah, I have the physical energy I need to achieve my goals every day. Okay, good. Last question on where we're rating ourselves at 1 to 5 on this set. In general, I feel cheerful and optimistic. I'm definitely going for a 4 on that. Then give myself a 5 on anything because it's like, I'm perfect, and no one is. Apparently 24 minutes is the ultimate nap time, says Gary. Interesting, Gary. Maybe, you know what? I think that's probably right. Maybe I should try that. In general, I feel cheerful and optimistic. Give yourself a mark out of 5. I feel in general. Okay, so yes, you're going to have a shit day or a shit hour now and again. But in general, I feel cheerful and optimistic. Give yourself a mark 1 to 5. 1 if you strongly disagree, 5 if you strongly agree. Dawn's gone for a 3. Gary's gone for a 3.5. Excellent. I hope everyone's at a 3 or more. But But if you're not, say you're not. No pressure, because this is why we're here, to help everybody learn some stuff that's going to hopefully take them up to a 3 or a 4. And then we also, it's got the next section here, we also reverse score with statements like this. So these are negative statements that, again, you know, strongly agree or disagree with. So 1 to 5. So 1 would be I strongly disagree, or 5 would be I strongly agree. But these are negative statements. 4 for cheerful and optimistic from Helen as well. Good on you, Helen. So what about this? This is a negative one. My mind feels slow and foggy. 1 to 5, okay? So 5 if you agree with that, 1 if you don't agree with that. My mind feels slow and foggy. I disagree with that, thankfully. So these should be like lower scores, because hopefully people disagree with that. So that's good. So we got 2 off Dawn and 1 off Fanny. So people are like, no, my mind doesn't feel slow and foggy. That's good. Gary's in the middle. He's in the middle with a 3. So maybe sometimes, you know what, Gary? I bet that's part of being a writer, though, mate. Because if you hit like writer's block a few times a week or something like that, you know, I get that. I bet at times writing is hard, figuring out plot lines and all that sort of stuff. Peter's gone for a 2. Good stuff. Excellent. Next one, I am physically exhausted too often. I am physically exhausted too often. Do you agree or do you disagree with that? Like 1 would be strongly disagree. 5 would be like, yeah, I strongly agree, and that is me. I'm physically exhausted too often. Fanny's a 5. So Fanny's physically exhausted. So we need to look at why that is, Fanny. Maybe that is sleep deprivation, lack of fueling yourself with the right nutrition. Lack of exercise can do that as well. John's going for a 3. He's in the middle on that one as well. 4 from Gary. So people are tired then. There's quite a lot of people in the area who are feeling it. Feeling exhausted too often. And then the last question. I feel a lot of negative energy and emotions. I feel a lot of negative energy and emotions. Give us a 1 if you disagree with that, up to a 5 if you strongly agree and you're like, shit, I feel a lot of negative energy and emotions. Thankfully, I'm going for like a 1 on that. I don't, thankfully. Been times in my life I have, 100%, but not for a long time, thank God. Gary's going for a 2, so he disagrees as well. Excellent work, Gary. Excellent. I feel a lot of negative energy and emotions. People agreeing, disagreeing. Peter's gone for a 3 on that in the middle. So maybe you feel them sometimes you don't. Sam's gone for a 2, so she's good. Well, my days are different. Sometimes a 5, sometimes a 2. Okay, so that's kind of like state of being. Fanny's like up and down then, and that's common for a lot of people. Where like on one day they're like on cloud 9, and then the next day for some unknown reason to them they can't figure out, they just feel like shit. And that can be in all kinds of different things. But I think most generally down to mindset and outlook, really, and practicing a lot of the stuff that we talk about in these broadcasts. So it says you'll notice that energy isn't just physical, all right, which is how most people conceive of it. Most people do think energy is a physical thing. Mental alertness matters too. Okay, so does positive emotion. In fact, all 3 have been correlated with high performance. And when I use the word energy in this book, says Brendon, keep in mind it means the full spectrum of mental, emotional, and physical vibrancy. So when he talks about energy and generating energy in this book, it's about all those things, okay? The headline from our research on this topic may seem obvious to you. Low energy correlates with lower overall high performance. Okay, pretty obvious, isn't it? But the details of the findings should get your attention. So listen to this, right? The lower your energy, and remember that includes your mental alertness, your emotion, as well as physical energy. So the lower your rating in energy, the lower your overall happiness. The lower your enthusiasm for taking on challenges. The lower your perception of your own success versus your peers' success is a fucking massive one for actors. Huge one for actors. And the lower your confidence in the face of adversity. The lower the degree of influence you will have over others. And the lower the likelihood that you'll eat well or exercise. Okay, so if you're feeling like those people who are like, I'm a 5 on the exhaustion thing, that's probably why you aren't necessarily fueling yourself properly. You're not exercising. You might feel inferior to other people. You don't want to take on new challenges because you get overwhelmed. So low energy not only hurts your ability to reach high performance overall, it actually pervades all aspects of your life. You feel less happy. You don't take on the big challenges. You feel as if everyone is passing you by. Your confidence tanks. You eat worse. You get fatter. You struggle to get people to believe in you, buy from you, follow you, support you. But of course, the flip side is also applies. Increase your energy and you improve all of those factors. The only hard thing about exercising is making yourself do it. So I have this battle every single morning, Bobby, right? But what I've done with this, I've 2 years I've been working out at like 6:30, well 7 a.m. when I actually get to the gym. Walking down at 6:30 though. And for me now, it's like it's not about the exercise and going to the gym. It's about the discipline that actually creates. There's that little voice inside your head. It's like, Ross, stay in bed. It's all warm and lovely. Stay here, stay here. And honest to God, like 90% of me is like, oh, this is amazing. Just stay in bed, stay in bed, stay in bed. But for me, the fear of how I would feel about myself. Gary said he's showing his bicep there. I'm not, Gary. But the fear that I would, of how I would feel about myself come 9 o'clock if I did go back to sleep and just woke up at 9 o'clock having not gone to the gym. And I would berate myself so much for doing that because my standards are not that. My standards are higher than that. The fear of how I would kind of feel about myself not going far outweighs the pain of just getting up and going. And it's got to the point now where it's not really necessarily about the exercise and going and working out. It's actually about knowing I've beaten that little voice. If I'm honest with you, it's just a stubborn part of me, the competitive side of me that's like, fuck you. You can kind of seduce me all you want with this warm bed. I'm out of here. And I'll know the first 10 minutes are painful every time getting up, before I leave the house. But I've got my routine down, so everything is set out the night before to make it the path of least resistance. I literally don't have to think when I get up. All my track pants are laid out, my headphones are in my pocket with my vitamins, my keys, everything. I can do it on autopilot, very, very little effort. Don't have to think about anything. But it's about beating that little shit. And he's only trying to look after me, to be honest. So it's kind of friendly little voice in it going, come on, let's just spend some more time relaxing. But it's about that more than actually going, right, I'm going to go and, get in shape. Getting in shape is kind of like the byproducts and the bonus of actually becoming disciplined. So yeah, it is hard. But you will, like we said before, people are like, I'll work out once I feel more energetic. And you just don't realize that actually you need to work out in order to feel energetic. So if you're saying that as an excuse, you're never going to work out. You just have to do the thing you are putting off, ultimately to abolish the excuse you are using. So, I've said it before, I will lift those weights over there when I'm strong. Well, you're not going to get strong until you've lifted the bloody weights. Go and lift the weights. It's kind of a little bit incongruent with how you would imagine things go, but that's just it. That's how you get shit done. So on the flip side, though, increase your energy and all that stuff we just talked about increases, all right? And you become better, okay? In all those energies. And there's more. Energy is also positively related to educational attainment, creativity, and assertiveness as well. This tends to mean that the more energy someone has, the more likely they are to pursue higher levels of education, to come up with creative ideas, so important for actors and writers, and to speak up for themselves and take action towards their dreams. That's why organizations and academic institutions worldwide should get very serious about developing employee and student energy scores. Bottom line, the more energy someone has, the more likely they are to be happy and climb to the top of their primary field of interest. It turns out, too, that marriage is good for your energy, just as it's good for your longevity. In our surveys, married people have more energy than their never-married counterparts. That's interesting, isn't it? I need to get bloody married then, don't I? Crikey. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to look at something actionable. This is practice 1, okay? And this is the only thing we're going to look at tonight to actually put into reality in your life this week, okay? Releasing tension and setting intention, and this is going to really have an effect on the energy you bring into a room when you have something to achieve. So if you're going to a casting, you're going to a job interview, you're going on a first date, you're going to the gym for the first time, you know what? You might feel intimidated because you're like, I'm not in great shape and I've got to walk in that gym and walk past all these people who are in great shape. This is going to help you get the ball, the ball rolling, right? Practice 1. Release tension, set intention. Socrates said, human excellence is a state of mind, and I could not bloody agree with Socrates more, okay? In a decade of coaching high performers, says Brendon, I found that the easiest, fastest, and most effective way to help them increase their energy is to teach them to master transitions. All right, write it down, master transitions, and let's explain what this is, because I didn't know about this until before, but I've used this week. I'll tell you how I used it, and I used it a minute before I did this broadcast tonight. As I was going from not being live on this broadcast to live, I practiced this exercise, okay? Every day, people lose tremendous amounts of focus, will, and emotional energy by managing transitions poorly, okay? They also lose the benefit of greater mental and physical stamina throughout the day. What do I mean by transitions? Well, every morning when you wake up and start your day, you experience a transition from rest to activation. That's that 10 minutes in the morning where I want to cry. Gonna be honest with you, I feel like a baby who's been woken up from a slumber and I just want to cry a little bit. A little man cry. Sort of yelps out, go, no. It's awful. That's a transition from sleep to activation. That's one transition of the day, okay? So the start of your day is a transition, okay? The time you drop off the kids, if you've got kids, and start your commute to work, that's a transition from family time to drive time. When you finish your commute to work, open your car door and walk into the office, that's a transition from solitary time to working with others. At work, when you finish creating that presentation and now go to check your email, that's a transition. You're going from creative mode to email mode. When a meeting ends and you walk back to your desk and you sit down and you jump on a conference call, that's a transition. The workday ends, you hop back into the car and head to the gym. 2 more transitions. Pull up to your house after a long day and walk into your home to become mum and dad. Transition. You get the idea, right? Our days comprise a series of transitions, and these transitions are immensely valuable. A powerful space of freedom between activities. And it's in this space that you'll discover your greatest restorer and amplifier of energy, okay? Now, Brendon sets a little exercise out here where he goes, think of all the transitions you experienced during the day and take a moment and write a few down. We'll have a very quick think of these. You can do that in your own time. But for me, would be obviously waking, from being asleep to waking, a transition. From getting ready for the gym and walking down to the gym to getting in the gym and working out, I'm going from a stroll to some, intense physical activity. Then after that, my transition is from intense physical exercise to a nice leisurely stroll home and restoring with a breakfast, all right, cooking my breakfast. From a breakfast, I have a shower, and then I get into work mode. So I've gone from kind of, restoration from breakfast and shower, boom, sit at my desk, analytical brain comes on, email, and then I will go, okay, once all my emails done, creative mode. Now I've got to edit a podcast or I've got to create a video or something. And then I might go, okay, now I've got a voiceover at 2:00, and now I have to transition from creative mode into traveling mode. So commuting into Manchester. Then from Manchester, analytical brain turns on again to read the scripts I've got to record for a voiceover. Then I transition into like creative whilst I'm reading. Constant transitions all the time. Caroline's here. How are you doing, Caroline? So yeah, you will have. What are some of your transitions? Anyone here? You got kids you're dropping off at nursery, then you go to work, then you might go to your day job, then you might have an acting class. That's a bloody transition. You have a transition from traveling to an audition to walking through the door to actually act. Massive transition. All these transitions in our lives, and this is where you go from basically one type of energy to another. So he says, now let me ask you a few questions about these transitions, okay? Do you ever carry over negative energy from one activity to the next? Who's done that? You've had a shit phone call, you've argued with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mum, your dad, and then you've got to go into a situation where you might have to act, present a video, I don't know, record something, be all happy, go into your day job where you might be a waitress and you've got to be all smiley, and really you're pissed off inside and you've carried that energy over from that phone call into your other thing. Dawn says yes. Fanny says all the time. Fanny says unless it's acting though. It's an issue for a lot of people. They can't keep things separate. They always say, don't leave your personal issues at the door. It's quite hard, isn't it? Unless we look at what we're going to look at tonight, which is hopefully going to solve that. Do you ever feel depleted but still plow into your next activity without a break, even though you should take a breather? Gary says, yes, love being at home and then have to go outside, get disappointed about leaving house. Okay. Interesting. Are you losing a sense of presence and appreciation for life and others the further you go into your day? Ultimately because you are depleted by energy. Most people answer yes to all of these questions. I'm convinced that if we can get you to change the way you shift from one activity to the next, we can revitalize your life. So are you ready for this experiment? And this is what I just want. So Rihanna's saying, yep, hate it, but it happens to me. I'm saying that on Facebook as well. We're going to look at Brendon's little exercise, and I've used this week, and I'll tell you how I used it in a minute. And like I say, I used it before I even came on this broadcast before as well. It's a little experiment, and it's dead easy. It's dead easy, okay? From now on, as you move from one major activity to another, try this. Now, this is going to get you to, be a little bit, tiny little bit out there, maybe, okay? But this is science-backed still. It's not woo-woo, airy-fairy. When you're going in your transition, right, and you've started, you finish one activity and you're starting another one, okay, close your eyes for the next minute or two. Do it now. I want everyone actually close your eyes. I won't do it because I can't read then. But close your eyes now for the next minute or two, okay? And repeat the word release in your mind over and over. So just the word release in your mind. Doesn't have to be out loud. Just breathe in and you're repeating the word release, release. And as you do, command your body to release all the tension in your shoulders, in your neck, in your face, and jaw. Release the tension in your back and your legs. Release the tension in your mind and spirit. And if this is hard, just focus on each part of your body. Breathe deeply and repeat the word release in your mind. And this doesn't have to take long, just like a minute or two repeating the word release. I'm feeling quite relaxed just saying the word release. Now, when you feel you've released some tension, right, it doesn't have to be all the tension in your life. Just move to the next part of this. And this is setting intention. And this means thinking about what you want to feel and achieve in the next activity that you're about to take on when you open your eyes, right? And ask yourself, what energy do I want to bring into this next activity? How can I do this next activity with excellence? How can I enjoy the process? Okay, so what energy do I want to bring into this next activity? How can I do this next activity with excellence? And how can I enjoy the process? And these don't have to be the exact questions you ask, but these are the kind of questions that will prompt your mind to be more present in your next activity. And Brendon says this simple activity, practiced deliberately throughout the day, can help you better manage stress and gain more presence. It's remarkably powerful. Now, I used this because I read this book earlier this week. You'll see in Watch Ross episode 1 in the new vlog that I'm doing that I'm looking to do a documentary on my eye condition. It's called retinitis pigmentosa for BBC Horizon, okay? And I'm trying to get involved a guy who's the richest person in the world with my eye condition. He's a guy called Steve Wynn, and he owns half of Las Vegas. And to cut a long story short, I had a phone call to make to a close friend of his to see if I could make a connection effectively and at least get this idea in front of Steve this week while he's in Monaco. He's in Europe this week. And there's a lot of pressure on me to make that phone call. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm like, if I don't know someone, I've not spoken to them before, and I'm ringing them for the first time, I'm like, shit. It's really hard to make a good first impression purely off the phone because, as we know, 60% of communication is body language. And when you can only hear somebody and you can't see them or look them in the eye, it's quite difficult to influence people the way that I want. So it was a scary, scary thing for me to go, I've got to do this. This guy as well is incredibly successful and incredibly wealthy. And I'm like, and that shouldn't put me off, or intimidate me. But you can't help but think these guys are playing in the upper echelons of society in the world. And I've got one shot really at this to make this guy feel that he wants to help me. So I absolutely was like stood outside my house, just going, release. I'm thinking, what intention have I got here? What is my intention on this phone call? I'm like, my intention is to enthuse, my intention is to win over this guy. My intention is to energize this person on the phone. My intention is to charm. I've never done this before. Normally I just ring up and go, right, I'm just going to have to ring him about this. And I never set my intention clearly. And he answers the phone. I'm like, hi, listen, it's Ross Grant. I sent you a text last week, about this thing. Is it a good time to talk? And I knew he was going to be a tough cookie to crack because his only words were, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, oh, God, like, what do you mean? Like, am I going to have to start pitching this idea to you now? Like, there's no kind of like, oh, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, great to hear from you. It was literally straight in. But my intention was set. And to cut a long story short, 5 minutes on the phone, I was talking to him like a mate, and it was really fun. It turns out, he's like, right, this is my email address. Will you write everything down in an email, send it over to me by 4 p.m. today, because I'm going to be meeting Steve for dinner on Wednesday. And I'm like, sweet, yeah. And I sent it them all, and I give him a call afterwards to go, listen, I sent it. Hope, thanks so much for your time, and fingers crossed we make this work. But my intention was like really set before I made that call, and it absolutely helped. I know it did. I know it absolutely helped me. So this stuff, I think if you're in the reception area of a audition, or you're sat at a table waiting for a date, like I say, or something like that, setting your intention of what you actually want to bring to that person and what kind of energy you want to have around you as you're going into that scenario, it just gives you so much clarity and focus. So actually, yeah, of course I want it. So what do I want to do? Well, I want to go in and I want to leave the director and the producer in this audition in a better state than I found them. That's my intention. So how am I going to do that? Well, my intention is I'm going to go in. I'm going to be enthusiastic. My energy is going to be up, but not manic and crazy, so they don't think I'm like a total nutter. But I'm going to energize these people. I'm going to charm these people. I'm going to be positive. My energy is positive. I might have just had an argument with my girlfriend on the phone, but my intention in this audition is to go in with a positive state of mind. And when you tell yourself that's what you want, it just has an impact. Honestly, it just does. So Brendon says, look, try it. Try it for yourself. Breathe fully during that time. Release the tension in your body. Then ask yourself, what energy do I want to feel, when I'm doing the thing that it is I want to do? How can I retain, information from this meeting better? How can I enjoy this meeting better? Now you know this practice, you can imagine dozens of transitions to apply it to. Imagine that you're about to finish replying to some emails, and your next activity is to start creating a presentation. Well, in the transition between the two, push yourself back from your desk and then close your eyes for a minute or two. Repeat the words release until you feel the tension lift and you find a moment of peace, and then set an intention for how you want to feel creating your presentation and for how you want it to turn out, okay? And he says, I do this, release tension, set intention activity, before and after workouts, before I pick up the phone to call someone, like I did. That's where I got the idea from. Before I write an email to my team, before I shoot a video, before I get out of the car and go to lunch with friends, before I walk out onto a stage in front of 20,000 people. It saved me many times from anxiety and poor performance before I walked into a room and got interviewed by Oprah. Before I sat down to dinner with a US president, before I proposed to my wife. That's a big one, isn't it? All I can say is thank God for this practice, he says. And you too can find and summon new energy and life in the moments in between. Remember, just take a beat, close your eyes, and release tension, set intention. And he says, if you'd like to go to another level of mastery on this, try a 20-minute practice called the Release Meditation Technique, or RMT. He's trained like 2 million people in this. But if you go to YouTube, type in Brendon Burchard, RMT, I think that's what it'll be under. So just type in Brendon Burchard Release Meditation Technique. He'll actually talk you through a 20-minute presentation of RMT. Well, not a presentation, but actually a guided meditation. And that guy Blake at the start, William Blake was it? Sam said was a poet. Excellent, Sam. I'm glad we got to the end of that. That's just a little exercise for this week. If you are feeling like a bit shit and a bit down, a bit low on energy, and maybe you're dragging that energy into other areas of your life where you don't want it because you're not setting your intention, let's start doing this. And like I said, I know it sounds a little bit kind of out there. Caroline says, I'll try it. It sounds nice. Honestly, I promise to God, it really helped me with that phone call because that was hanging over me the entire weekend. I knew on Friday I had to make that call on the Monday morning because I'd spoken to this guy very, very, very briefly on Friday, and all I had from him was, listen, I'm in the car, I've got an early dinner and a meeting, I didn't know I was having, can we do this on Monday? So I was like, yeah, I've now got to live with this the whole week and thinking, oh, can I make this happen? Can I make this happen? Can I make this happen? And I swear, man, it helped. Gary says I'm going to try this tomorrow. Just try it. You just closing your eyes, 60 seconds, and you're just going release, okay, and you're dropping some of that tension. You won't get rid of it all, but you just want to drop, if you can drop 20, 30% of it, going to be in a better place. And then the key is setting your intention. What do I want to achieve from this phone call? What influence do I want to have on this person? You know, how can I leave this person in a better state than I found them? You know, what can I do to make this person smile? You know, how can I energize this person? How can I charge their batteries? And when you set your intention like that, you just focus and you know what you've got to do, as opposed to just going in and winging it. You might do it if you wing it, you know, on occasion, but I think if you actually set your intention beforehand, you're going to have a much better success rate. And I would use this in auditions big time. As an actor, I will use this moving forward. So yeah, give it a try. But that's just practice one of like 3 practices in High Performance Habits that he talks about increasing and generating more energy. Don't have time to go through them all tonight. But that's just one that I want you to try. Release tension, set intention. Rihanna says, love it and feel invigorated. On the list to use. Boom. These are all just little things that will give you the edge, Rihanna. Honestly, everybody, these are things that your peers are either not aware of, or even if they're aware of the theory, are not doing. You go into an audition, I don't think anyone else is doing this shit. No one's doing this. No one's using incantations. No one's using power phrases or power poses before they go in. No one's setting their intention. They're all sat in the waiting room, shitting their pants. That's what they're doing for most people. You know, telling themselves, don't forget your lines, don't forget your lines, don't forget your lines. And we know to your subconscious that just basically hears forget your lines, because it doesn't know what actually you wanted to do, because you're not setting your intention. Your intention, if you were setting your intention, probably would be remember your lines and smash this performance. You know, you've rehearsed this, you know you're good, you know, you deserve to be here. You're going to go in there, you know, and win this role, or you're going to go in there and win these people over. You're going to influence these people positively. Most people aren't setting their intention. They're just literally going, shit, please don't forget your lines. Do anything but forget your lines. Anything but forget your lines. And then what do? They just freaking forget their lines. Or they, you know, they just do a shit performance because they're in their head and they have no intention set before they go in. So I hope that helps. Do try it and do let me know. Drop me a tweet at Ross A. Grant, at Act on This TV. If you've done this, let me know. Hashtag it. Just intention. I don't know. We should come up with something for this. A little hashtag. Can't think of anything off the top of my head. If anyone's got anything that is individual, because intention is going to be used like millions and millions of times on Twitter. We need something that's just unique that if we search for, we'll find. But yeah, definitely let me know anyway, regardless. And do, like I said at the start, do watch Act on. Yeah, you know what? There you go, Gary. He's the writer in the group. Act on intention. No one's going to know that. Act on this, but just act on. What about act on this intention? Literally, like act, as in I acted on this intention. Maybe something like that. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But yeah, let me know. And yeah, do check out Watch Ross episode 1 if you haven't. I'm going to play a little trailer for it in a minute to end. But yeah, episode 2 is going to be out on Monday. Sorry, I got distracted there. I'm reading comments. Episode 2 will be out on Monday, and you'll be able to see that if you just go to here it is, facebook.com/Watch Ross. You can watch episode 1 now, and then a couple of days when it actually goes on YouTube. It's on YouTube already, but when YouTube index it, I'll be able to give you a proper URL to actually find it on YouTube as well. But yeah, facebook.com/Watch Ross to check it out. But I hope that helps you. Rihanna says, love that. Thank you, Rihanna. Thanks for being here. And let me know how you get on with it. If I can do anything for anybody, as always, let me know. Drop us a tweet, drop us an email. It's always ross@actonthis.tv. Might take me a little while to get back to you. So Twitter's better if it's kind of like, you know, crucially time critical. Email, I kind of go through on a weekly basis. But let me know what's going down, and I'll keep you posted on what's happening this end as well. Got some good live broadcasts coming up. Got a live broadcast coming up for premium members of Acts on This with a director called Mickey Jones, who I know a lot of people in here will know. He's a great director. He's directed all kinds of stuff, but he does a lot of Hollyoaks and Corrie. Quite a lot of the soaps. Super incredible guy from what I hear about him. I've never met him, only ever heard great things about him and talked to him on social media. But he's going to be doing a live Q&A at some point with us very, very soon, actually, because IOU Premium members feature this month, so we'll be sorting that out in the next few days. You can all come on and ask your questions to Mickey. Set some intentions. Ledge, says Sam. He is good, isn't he? Good guy. He's awesome, says Helen. He seems great on social media. He seems really funny, a real character. So really look forward to having him on the website. But got loads of stuff planned for you guys. Got an interview with a young actress called Haisha Mystery in Hollyoaks. She's actually repped by my agent. She's going to be talking to us about being a young actor, for all those young actors who are out there who just graduated drama school and like, you know what, I'd love a part on Hollyoaks. We're going to talk to her, how she managed that. Got a actress called Barbara Lynn Baisha who is on Coronation Street. Plays also in Citizen Khan, plays Alia in Citizen Khan and Rana on Coronation Street. Great actress. We're talking to her. I'm still trying to get a few like good writers on. I've got Debbie Horsfield coming on, who writes Poldark and just wrote this new BBC One drama called Age Before Beauty. She was supposed to have already done a podcast with me last week, but she broke her wrist, bless her. So we had to put that off for a couple of weeks, but I'll hopefully have her on very soon as well. So I've got loads of stuff coming up for you guys. Peter says he's a great guy. Met him at Acts Up North class. That's Mickey Jones talking about Peter, yeah? No, great stuff. Awesome. And Caroline says, if you are 25, you're still a spring chicken, Bobby. You were probably just commenting about your age or something. Age is nothing but a number, guys. I'm 35 now. Don't matter. I'm loving it. I'm getting hungrier and hungrier every year for more and more. And when I'm 86 and 87 and 88 and 89, I'll still be just as hungry. And I'm getting to 100, I hope. That's my goal in life. So hang out with me, you know. If you're 35 or younger, try and get to 100 with me, right? Yeah, that'll be great. We'll all have a little celebration. Awesome. Right, I'm going to finish, guys, on this little trailer. It's only a 60-second trailer of episode 1 of Watch Ross. Like I say, I keep banging on about it, but I'm going to because I'm trying to build this into something great. Thank you so much for your support. Olivia de Havilland is 101. Who's that? Obviously an actress who I don't know, and I'm going to get like the mick taken out of me because I bet she's dead famous or something like that. I'm terrible with names though, Bobby, to be honest. I'd love to get to 101, then I'd really be smashing it. So thank you. I'm going to be back on Monday for some more motivation and mind hacks. Watch Ross episode 2 will be out on Monday as well. But here is the trailer for Gone with the Wind. Oh, look at that. Well, should have known. Super famous. Super famous actress. I'm shit. Honestly, I'm really shit with names. You know, when people say, like, they'll say in a casting, and I'm now actually fine with admitting I don't know what they're talking about, but when I first left drama school and I go into a casting, they'd be like, oh yeah, well, this piece is a bit like this, and it's a little bit like this show, and, you know, this actress in this show, it's a bit of a cross between this and this. And I sit there going, oh yeah. Not got a bloody clue what they were talking about. Now I'm of an age where I just go, no idea what you're talking about. You have to just explain that to me a bit better because I don't know who you're talking about. But yeah, apologies to Olivia de Havilland. Congrats on being 101 though. Right, here you go. Here's this trailer. Catch up with you kids very soon. Thanks for watching. Massively appreciate you all. Appreciate you guys on Facebook. Joy says I'm not alone in not knowing names. Excellent, Joy. I'm glad you're the same as well. And I'll see you soon, all right? Bye for now. Check this out. I mean, should we see what happens? Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? I told her to talk to a guy called Steve Crabtree, who's the editor of Horizons, to see if he wants to do a documentary on me.
And I'm ringing with news from Steve Crabtree himself.
This is probably confidential.
Kill it.
Kill it. I'm going to kill Bastion. For the record, that screaming, if you can hear that, it's nothing to do with me or Sean.
Saw them guns, I thought, they're nice guns.
You know, I look a bit different without my top on, and I do with a top on. Oh, falling over. Got a dodgy eye condition, basically. That was no peripheral vision there, why I missed the initial fist pump.
Wait. Oh.
Possibly the worst mistake I could ever have made.